A garden of the Spirit. The Lord will guide you always. He will satisfy your needs in a sun-scorched land and will strengthen your frame. You will be like a well-watered garden, like a spring whose waters never fail. Isaiah chapter 58, verse 11. During the last many months, I've spent a lot of time in the pollinator garden, the beloved community garden. My initial goal was simply to keep everything alive, to not let the unusual circumstances we found ourselves in undo all the hard work of the previous year. In fact, it was just about exactly 1 year from when the first plantings went in the ground to when the pandemic shut everything down. All of our plans for finishing the paths, creating an entrance, building a meditation labyrinth, finishing the back section and more came to a grinding halt. So during all of those many hours weeding and watering, I had a lot of time to think about where we started, how the growth exceeded anything I could imagine, and what to do next. And what all of this means on a spiritual level as well, keeping our garden of the Spirit alive and thriving when hope is hard to find. The first thing I learned from Paul Schnurr, my garden mentor, is that nothing will grow without good soil. Even scientists have found that soil is the key to saving our planet. Something so simple and ubiquitous, teeming with life beneath our feet, yet often we take it for granted. In our spiritual lives, I see soil as our upbringing, the people and experiences when we were younger that shaped us, when we were still seeds, where our roots now live. If you are lucky, that soil was rich, full of nutrients and a microbiome of support. But even if that wasn't the case, soil can always be amended with compost, with experiences and love from those around us to create the right environment for growth. In the biology of plant growth, soil serves two purposes: to provide nutrients that feed the plant and support so that it grows strong and doesn't fall over. Taller plants need deeper roots for support. But sometimes, as in the case of the huge yellow swamp sunflowers blooming now in the garden, deep roots are not enough and other supports are needed. Stakes to hold up the plant or other plants to lean on. Sometimes we all get to a point when our soil alone is not enough to steady us, and we need the support of friends and loved ones one way or another. This spring and summer, despite the tumultuous social, economic, and political weather, the meteorological weather was fairly mild. We had very hot, dry days and more than a couple of downpours, but overall it wasn't as hot and dry as I had feared. And winter is sure to bring frost and, if we're lucky, snow. While we can't control the weather, we can prepare by mulching to hold in warmth and moisture, by watering when needed, and covering sensitive plants to protect them from frost. In the same way, we can prepare our gardens of the Spirit for inclement weather by engaging in worship and fellowship, so when downpours come, we aren't washed away, and during a drought, we can quench our spirit. However, the most tedious task for any gardener is weeding, pulling out those plants growing out of place to clear space for those placed with a purpose to thrive. Otherwise, the weeds will quickly strangle and overpower any garden, leaving it a green, unsightly mess. For me, weeding is meditative. My mind can wander through my mental and spiritual weeds to examine which thoughts are helping my garden of the Spirit to flourish and which frustrations and harmful judgments need to be pulled. Which trees have been casting too much shade, tasks that have been taking me away from what is important and need to be pruned back. Through all of this, the weather and the weeding, the sprouting and the growing, the light of God shines down on all of our gardens, giving us the peace, grace, and energy we need to flourish and bloom. A prayer for gardeners of the Spirit. Bless the garden of your church, O God. Guide those who plant and tend it. Protect the young, strengthen the flourishing, and make us fruitful in ministry and mission. Bless the gardens of the world, the soil and rain and sunshine, and the work of all those who sow and reap. Give abundant harvests, and teach us to share them with justice. Bless the gardens of our community, the shelter of families, the fragrance of friendship. In all our care for one another, Make us grow in wisdom and love, in gentleness, kindness, and truth. Give tender care to all who are struggling through weakness, sickness, grief, or change. Show us your grace at work in the times when growth is painful or when death is near. Give eternal life to all those whom you love, through Jesus Christ, the true vine. Give us grace to abide in him as fruitful branches, and bring us at last with all of your saints to resurrection life. God of grace, hear our prayer.
I come to the garden alone, while the dew is still on the roses, and the voice I hear falling on my ear, the Son of God discloses. And you walk with me, and you talk with me, and you tell me I am your own, and the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known.
You speak and the sound of your voice is so sweet, the birds hush their singing, but the melody that you gave to me within my heart is ringing.
And you walk with me, and you talk with me, and you tell me I am your own, and the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. I'd stay in the garden with you, though the night around me be falling, but you bid me go through the voice of woe. Your voice to me is calling. And you walk with me, and you talk with me,